Hey guys, welcome to What's the Talk? It's CGTN's first debate show. I'm Yang Shimeng. What you're seeing now is our special stage in the metaverse, where our guests from all around the world will be joining us, meeting each other, and debating. So thank you so much for tuning in. We are currently streaming on various media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Weibo, WeChat, Bilibili, Yangshiping, and of course, CGTN's official website. And today we also have many audiences joining us here in the metaverse. Welcome you all. Now, feel free to join our discussions and share your opinions anytime with the hashtag What's the Talk. We are very much looking forward to hear your thoughts. Well, as always, we are very honored to have 6 guests joining us online for the debate. Now let's meet our new friend first. June Tan Ruimin from Singapore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hello, my name is June, and I'm a student at Peking University School of Journalism and Communication. And I'm so happy to be here today with all of the other guests today.
Welcome. And next up are our familiar faces. Kate Kaligava from Belarus. Welcome back, Kate.
Hey everyone, it's my pleasure to be back here with you. I come from Belarus and currently I'm a Peking University Yenching Academy scholar, and I'm very excited to join you for today's discussion.
Welcome. And Guxi from Beijing, China. Welcome back. Hi, Guxi.
Hello, hi everyone. Happy to be back. And hello from Shanghai, actually, this time. I can't wait to shoot my fire over today's super interesting topic.
All right, and Jim Fields from the United States. Hi, Jim. Long time no see.
Hi, guys. Thank you for the chance to come back today. Really excited to get a chance to debate these topics about social media, something very near and dear to my heart.
All right, welcome back. And then we have Enoch Wong from Hong Kong, China. He is currently in Beijing. Hi, Enoch.
Hi everyone. My name is Enoch Wong. I'm from Hong Kong, China. After graduating from Swartzman College, good friend of the Yenching Academy from Peking University, I now work at Tsinghua University as a senior manager for online education and international cooperation.
All right, welcome. Now, last but not least, we have Michal Bozacki from Poland. Hi, Michal.
Yeah, hi everyone, glad to be back here. Yeah, the topic today is very interesting, so I'm happy to share my thoughts and learn about all of the other people on the debate.
All right, welcome. So glad to have you all here. I'm very looking forward to see your debate today. Like you said, it's a very, very interesting topic. Now, today, what we are going to talk about is fragmented information on social media. You know, the popularity of social networks is growing. The young generation basically lives on social media. There is actually a survey recently by Statista showing the population of social media users worldwide. We can take a look. You can see back in 2017, there were only 2.7 billion people using social media. And the number has risen to nearly 4.6 billion this year and is projected to increase to almost 6 billion 5 years later in 2027. So, you know, the days of relying on the daily newspaper to know what's going on in the world are long gone. Today, we can find out just about anything with a few clicks on a smartphone. But we live in a fast-paced world where oftentimes we can be overwhelmed with information, which is why it makes sense to create bite-sized content. Here, I'm talking about like articles of 600 words or less and 1 minute or even shorter videos. People tend to either love or hate it. Some think it's simple, it's clear, easy to access, and lets us share information instantaneously. While others believe, you know, loads of fragmented content can be distracted and make people lose their objectivity. So is the bite-sized content on social media a blessing or a curse? That's our topic today. Well, our debaters have all picked their stance, all right? Kate and Jim think it's a blessing. June and Guxi are against it. Enoch and Michal are in the neutral team. Well, so as usual, we did a survey on social media beforehand. I have to say, it's the largest margin of victory I've seen so far in this show. Let's take a look. Yeah, Team Curse wins against the Blessing by a heavy score of 71 to 28. Now, Team Blessing, do you have anything to say before we start the debate? Did you expect this?
To be honest, I'm not surprised, but I have prepared all the arguments and we're a very strong team and we certainly believe that it's a blessing. So I think we will have no issue winning this debate.
Wow, I love it. Cool.
Super
Jim,
confident
what
about
about
that.
you?
Yeah, well, it's not a challenge unless we're competing against the odds. So I think even if it's an uphill battle, I'm confident that we can bring it home.
For sure.
All right. I'm excited. Now, we'll start from the blessing team in the first round. Now, let's take a look at the rules.
Our rules are as follows. Each team consists of 2 players. The oppositions will battle it out during the first round to attract the neutral team to join their sides in order to battle together in the second round. And Team Neutral has the opportunity to ask both oppositions questions after their statements. Round 2 is a free debate, and everyone gets to raise their questions. But please do remember that the individuals in the neutral position have the right to turn cold. Therefore, they can still change their minds after the second round, based on what impressed them the most.
All right. So that was the rule. Are you all clear about it? Now, to those of you who are watching, you can also get involved by sharing with us your ideas, concerns, questions, or your stories. We welcome all different kinds of views. Just comment below and let us know. Now, teams, get ready. Fragmented content, blessing, or curse. We start from the blessing team. Time limit is 2 minutes for each person. And after the first argument from both sides, the neutrals can ask questions. Now, Kate, please.
Sure, ready. So in our opinion, we certainly believe that the fragmented information is certainly a blessing because this is the information that is available to you in just few minutes or even seconds. It's immediate and quick and you can get the information immediately. You just go on your phone, smartphone, or any other gadget and look for the information. It's certainly a good and a big advantage for people who live in the 21st century because of our quick pace of life. Can you imagine spending hours of time on reading a huge novel or watching a huge TV series if you just can find information about this on the internet in few clicks? So I believe that people are not willing to spend time looking for info on dictionaries, encyclopedias, or reading huge novels and spending this amount of time when we're actually lack of time in this super quick and super modern society. So basically, my point is that time is money and we need to save time and can spend it on work, time with our friends, etc. Another point is that fragmented information is a blessing as people who did not have the voice before or didn't have control of the media have become the media themselves, right? By sharing this fragmented information like videos and images, as I'm a social media influencer myself, I know it really well. So we make this information available for more people and make more people interested in more content, more interested in different aspects of life. Besides, fragmented information can make you feel like you're part of one community, right? Because if you have a hobby and you don't have that many people around you who are interested in that, you can always go online and find an online community who are going to upload thousands of video and images and make you feel like you're part of something if you're not even that integrated into the society. So in my point of view, it's certainly a blessing for us people living in the 21st century, whether we're young or old. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. That's the 10 seconds countdown. Yeah.
All right.
But thank you, Kate. Very good points. Now let's hear from Team Curse, Guxi.
Yes, thank you, Kate, for your argument. I definitely against what you just said, especially when we said spending time on books and long time, big chunk of time, dictionary books. As a bookworm myself, I just feel all the time spent on reading books is so well spent. And also you mentioned about social medias and influencers have a platform to speak out and everybody got to be the media itself. It's also dangerous if you think about it, that everybody gets the right to speak without taking responsibility for what they said on all in social medias. And that causes a lot of harm to everyone. And besides the points that I just listed, I also want to say information itself is neutral, but the way to present it is not. Bite-sized clips are designed to drop baits and keep your eyes fixated. In long term, our judgment and capability to distinguish good and bad will be hugely harmed. And if we say bite-size, the volume of information and the frequency of getting those is overruling quality. First, do we really need that much information? This is one question. And second is, can our brain still function healthily with the bombardment of all those unfiltered information? And he also mentioned about study and learning. I want to say, if we talk about study, what's the best way to learn? Efficiency, yes, it's very important, especially me, myself, as someone who works in AI industry, we always emphasize efficiency is the key. But don't forget our civilization evolved from stone inscription, from bamboo books, from all these like natural characters on the books, on the papers. So culture is actually a natural flow and an accumulation of knowledge and wisdom. What's left after we swipe like 100 times on our phone screen? Do we generate civilization and culture from swiping, from delivering message around, instead of generating and creating new things from thinking and long time of learning? That's my point. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gushi. So we've heard two first speakers from both sides. And Mahal and Enoch, each of you can ask one question, only one question to either team. So think carefully, it will help you make the decision in the next round.
Okay. So if I may, I'll go first. So I wanted to touch upon the topic that I have a question to the Blessing team about the lack of time. Time is money. So I think anyone that's ever watched a TV series knows this feeling, how hard it is to watch a 2-hour movie in full, how hard it is to save time for it. But then if you watch a TV series which has like half-hour episodes, you just swallow the whole series like in one evening, for example, watch 8 episodes, like it's no problem. And I'm just wondering, isn't this escalated with bite-sized content, like 3 minutes, 1 minute, short articles? How hard it is to sit down and read a book, and how easy it is to read a comparable amount of text in an article. So this is my question, like, do you feel like the shorter media can contribute to actually spending more time in front of a screen than 3-hour movies, for example?
Thank you, Michal, for your question. So I guess you mean that the short content, that fragmented information is actually making us more motivated to watch longer movies and longer TV series and watch.
No, what I meant is like the short content might be short, like these may be short movies, like 1 minute, 3 minutes, but because they're so short, we tend to watch more of them. So it's like, it's hard to find time to watch a 2-hour movie. But then if you start scrolling social media and watching those 1 minute videos, you just look at the clock and, for example, 3 hours passed. Like it's because it's all fragmented and short and bite-sized, it's easier to watch more, you know, like time-wise than a whole movie, for example.
I guess, yes, it takes much further time because, I mean, it's a short video. And I guess that I have to add the point that nowadays, this kind of the short video or short information is much easier to read or to watch the videos. A lot of people are actually interested in much shorter information if we're talking about short videos platform. And I have to mention that social media, this information can be a double-edged sword. For one who knows how to take the best out of it will succeed, and the rest will end up in fail. As you know, some people just don't know how to use this fragmented information and they simply get lost in this. However, when you know what you're using this for and why you need this social media information, you will certainly know, okay, I go on this platform to watch the short video, but not to get like the full information to study, to prepare for my exam, or to get some serious knowledge.
All right, thank you, Kate. And Enoch, go ahead.
Then I'll ask Gusi, I guess, where social media bite-sized information occurs. So I guess with the fast pace going on in our environment, particularly with social media, do you think, educational video is better if it's in a long form lecture or it is in a shorter form where people are more easily digestible? How can we how can we better attract people and spread information if information are very, very long and very, very heavy?
Thank you. Thank you for your question. I like your question a lot because from my personal experience, I'm pretty sad to see people get to learn things through those short video, like highly dense clips from the long, lengthy videos. So I would definitely choose long, lengthy ones because learning itself, the behavior itself, it's against humanity. It is a hard work. It is a way accumulation, the result of all this dedication. So what we get from the clips is a highlight that's superficially clinched to your brain instead of scripted, implanted in there in your head. That's why we need to rethink about the learning itself. So I agree, some information we can get easily, we can have the accessibility to those one from online. But when it comes to learning and study, we need to think about the behavior because it's meaningful for our long-term habits, and also the habits to get the information is important. Yeah, that's my answer.
All right, thank you, Guxi, and thank you, everyone. So I received a comment on YouTube. A viewer named DLJ is asking about our sample size. I think he is asking about the poll, the participation quantity. Well, we received about 3,000 votes in total. And in these 3,000 votes, 78% of the voters choose to vote as social media as a curse. Yeah, so that's the poll stats. And now let's move on to the second part, to the second speakers from both team. All right. Okay, Jim, go ahead.
So this is a question that I've thought about a lot myself as a micro influencer on social media. Does social media work as a force for good or as a force for evil? But for me, I think the first thing I want to talk about is technology. Ultimately, technology is at the core of social media because technology enables social media. But whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. A lot of the polls that we talked about at the beginning of today's episode were actually conducted on social media, the same platforms that are the home to many of these short videos that we're all speaking about. And when a new technology emerges in civilization, whether it's flying cars, whether it's automobiles, whether it's even things as simple as coffee or refrigeration, there's a tendency for society to get scared. Anytime there's something new, it's a little bit intimidating. And this is something that's also happening now with things like artificial intelligence or, robots that look a little bit too much like humans. But ultimately, even though people resisted those things in the past, they've ultimately given us many things, many benefits for human life. We talked about other examples like refrigeration. People were afraid that it was bad to make your food too cold, but actually it's a way to prevent disease, to keep your food for longer, to sharing a lot of benefits. So I think, first of all, people resist new technology, and that's one reason why people are afraid of social media. The second is about community and sharing. So for me, short videos are, first of all, something I personally create, but they're also an excellent way for me to connect with my family. Living far away from my family, I'm living in China. Most of my family's in the United States. And oftentimes I don't necessarily have the effort to, put in a long, thoughtful message to my mom or my brother or my dad. But what I can do is find a short video online and share it with them. And in that moment, communicate a little bit of the emotion, the joy or sadness or humor or whatever from the clip that I found. And I think the power of these little moments to share love and communication is very powerful.
All right, thank you, Jim. Now let's move on to June from Team Curse.
Okay, thank you. I'm together with Guxi. I think that bite-sized information is more of a curse than it is a blessing to human society. And so I would like to bring up a new point and just basically first talk about the nature of bite-sized information. So bite-sized information, as the name implies, actually refers to information that is metaphorically easy to pick up, easy to eat, and most likely easy to absorb and digest. And so in the 90s, bite-sized food in the market only catered to two groups of people, young children and the elderly. And in the mid-21st century, bite-sized food gained popularity as forms of appetizers, usually served at weddings or parties, rendering conveniences to the guests during mingling, because those are foods that don't require one to think too much before putting into their mouths, food that offers no kind of attachment. So there comes my 2 points. Firstly, bite-sized information despite its benign exterior, actually can contain a lot of underpinning values from the creator or transmitter of the information. Bite-sized information creates the space and opportunities for them to cherry-pick certain information from a whole story, play around with language lingo, and leave out key parts of the story, often misleading and causing confusion to the readers, and even getting away with them. So misleading information is never and will never be a blessing to society. And my second point, bite-sized information, like bite-sized food, is rewarding because you can pop them in your mouth at one go and be able to savor the flavors of a regular sized one. If I'm offered a full-size pizza or bite-sized pizza, I may choose bite-sized pizza because I can keep my hands free and do other things at the same time. Likewise, bite-sized information does not require too much of our attention. Neither does it require us to dwell in and understand fully the details and the deeper meanings of the story. But however, it is making us forget the importance of reading between the lines, the importance of taking the time to be critical, just like how it's important just like how we're forgetting. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you, June. Now, Mahal and Enoch, do you have any questions, judgments, doubts?
Can we ask a question, or is that not allowed?
Nope. Let's save it for later. We have the free debate session.
Then why this time? Why don't I go first? So let me ask a question to June.
Okay.
You left us with a point talking about longer information help you to become more critical. I would argue against that. I think because of bite-sized information, people are able to make better comparison because they're shorter, and you can accumulate more information, more diverse perspective. So therefore, actually, I would argue bite-sized information is a blessing in the sense that it allows you to get a lot more point of view as opposed to reading a very, very long book, making one single argument instead. What would you say about that?
Okay, that's true. But I also want to argue about the dangers of not being shown the full story of an event or a news, for example. Usually when we look at the news, and nowadays actually through social media, news is actually only in snippets, 1 or 2 lines, and as opposed to in the past where we had newspapers that had an entire full story article. So we are exposed to the dangers of, you know, information being cut out, information not being shown to us in an entire story, and in that case, I think it is very likely that we miss out some of the key information that we have to, you know, learn about in the first instances when we learn to understand and use an article or information.
All right, thank you, guys. New comments standing in. We have a Facebook viewer, Nalzer Angela. I hope I pronounced your name right. She writes such an interesting and important topic. I would like to join and be a part of this very discussion. Well, you can send in your comment, send in your point of view, your story in this comment section, and we will rate it and let the guests discuss with your questions. And also follow our program, because as we upgrade this show, we may open some, you know, participant seats in the metaverse, so you can join us live maybe later in the metaverse and be a audience there. Yeah, and
so I have my question, if I may still. So I actually wanted to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually wanted to expand on the topic, and also ask the curse team here. So those bite-sized, well, we have to remember that the bite-sized information did not like entirely replace longer content, for example. So I was wondering, like, do you feel that the bite-sized information thing might be a net positive? Because seeing even in the news some like bite-sized news like with a very strong title, if you're a critical person, maybe it can lead you to read more about the topic, so it can be like a recommendation. And do you feel like the bite-sized information can be a good thing because it's like encouraging to dig more into the topic?
I think what is happening nowadays is that a lot of the titles, they are actually baits for people to click in and read the story. And usually for me, when I see something in the headlines that is very interesting, I click into it and I realize that actually by reading the story, I realized that the headlines and the title of the story is actually not on par with the actual contents of the newspaper. And I feel cheated in a sense. So as readers, as someone that hopes to be a critical thinker, I would rather be given information that is full rather than something that seems to be interesting, but it actually is just a bait.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
Thank you guys. And sorry for disrupting the hall. Yeah, because I really want to take this opportunity to promote our show. You know, we have another viewer from Douyin, from the short video platforms. His name is Eternity. He's asking if this is a regular show. I guess he must be very interested in our show. Yes, it is a regular show, and we have another episode later this month. So follow us, follow our account, follow our program. We'll have more interesting topics later on. And now Mahal and Enoch, take some time to decide which team you want to join. And before the show, we did a Vox Pop for more opinions on this topic. And let's take a look what they have to say.
2 hours at most.
2 to 3 hours a day.
I don't really spend a lot of time on social media.
2 to 3 hours.
I spend an hour.
About 6 hours.
It's about 3 to 4 hours a day.
3, even 4 hours a day on social media.
3 or 4 hours.
At least 5 to 6 hours per day.
Because there's literally a myriad of information you could look for on the internet.
Entertainment would be like a tranquilizer that gets you out of anxiety.
Spending our time on bite-sized information is a better way to keep us updated, as information comes in little segments. It's easier to understand, easier to access, and it's much fun to read or watch.
There's lots of issues of clarity, a lack of context.
It can be relaxing and even a quick fix for people with social phobia.
I would make some posts and videos could facilitate my life and learning in some way.
There are a lot of videos on social media are very inspiring and creative.
It's kind of like emotional investment because there are a lot of interesting photo ideas there, birth announcements, a lot of pictures of my friends and so on.
Welcome back. Well, looks this time more people stand for Blessing. Congratulations, Blessing team. Well, Mahal and Enoch, now you are going to choose a team to battle together in the next round. What's your decision? Enoch?
I'll let Mahal choose first.
Okay. It's a hard choice, right?
It's tough.
Yeah, it's really hard. I think like both sides had really compelling arguments. I think I'm going to go with the Curse team for now.
Team Curse. Enoch, what was that about?
I wanted to choose Curse.
You can do. Well, both of you can go ahead.
It wouldn't be fair for the bite-sized team to have more time than the Curse team, right?
Well, you don't have to worry about that much.
Because they're bite-sized. Because they're bite-sized, so they should have shorter, right? So let me choose Blessing. Let me choose Blessing. I want to put myself in the opposite position and see what happens.
Okay. So Mahal choose to join Team Curse and Enoch choose to join Team Blessing. May I know the reason, Mahal?
Yeah, so I'm really on the edge in this on this issue, but I think I'm edging more towards the Curse because like the point I was trying to make in the first one that I don't think I got across. I feel like despite that the content is so short, it promotes spending more time in front of a screen, and spending more time in front of a screen kind of like makes it that we exist more in the virtual reality. more and more, and I'm not too sure if that's a good thing. I might be just scared, like Jim said, I might just be scared of something new, but still I'm kind of more on the edge, but still a bit more towards that it's a curse, that the longer forms are still necessary.
Okay, and Enoch, your reason.
Okay, let me try to explain myself. I think just now in the questioning round, I think I'm trying very, very hard not to ask follow-up question and have a taste of what is it like having shortened and bite-sized content, where I'm very, very much looking forward to the exchange, right? Which is where longer form, more holistic. However, there's one thing which really convinced me, I think it still struck me, is about the democratization of information. It's about the increased number of users of social media. I think without bite-sized information, it's very, very difficult to have that tremendous growth of internet and social media users around the world. And I think the more people are using social media, the more point of view that we will have, and the more that we can enjoy the democratization of information.
All right. Thank you, Enoch. So now we have the new lineup here for the next round. 3 versus 3. Team Blessing has Kate, Jim, and Enoch. Team Curse with Jun, Guxi, and Mahal. And yep, I'm going to read some new comments here. Well, guys, you know, when I was answering their questions, reading their comments, there's another viewer from Douyin platform. 也是你. He is surprising that I can see their comments from different platforms, and absolutely yes, I can see your comments from different media platforms because you know we are in the metaverse. I can see all your comments here, so send it in. And yep, that's bite-sized content, fragmented information from the social media platforms. I see so many comments from different media platforms. It can be distracted, you know, as I'm doing the live stream, but also it's very useful. So that's why bite-sized information can be a double-edged sword, right? That makes our point today. Now, at the same time, I see new audiences tuning in. We are having a debate here on the fragmented information on social media. Is it a blessing or a curse? What is your take on this? We are currently streaming on various media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Weibo, WeChat, Bilibili, Yangshipin, and CGTN's official website. Which team do you support? Who's your favorite debater? What's your insight on this topic? Join our discussions. Send your comments below anytime with the hashtag What's the Talk. Now, all right, before you move on to the next round, there's a report that I really want to share. It is newly released this week by the China Internet Network Information Center about internet development and usage in China. Yeah, so we know China has a population of 1.4 billion people. And among them, the number of Chinese netizens reached 1.05 billion by the end of June. That's nearly 75% of the total population. So what I think is pretty noticeable is that the report said that the number of short video users increased the most over the past 6 months. So 962 million in total. That's over 90% of all netizens in China. And as we said before, we do spend a lot of time on short video apps. They are viral now, both nationwide and worldwide. Their algorithms can keep users pretty addicted. And the report says Chinese netizens spend an average of 4.2 hours online daily this year. So think about it, 4.2 hours, that's nearly 1/3 of the time that we are awake. And we also have a global overview on this, the average daily time spent on social media specifically. We also have another chart for that, the global chart. Yep. So the average daily time spent on social media specifically is 147 minutes this year, nearly 2.5 hours. So guys, I want to do a quick check here. I know you're all streaming with your laptops. Do you have your phones with you? Because I'm really interested to see how much time you spend on your cell phones. You know, I have my phone here. So it should have that screen time function in setting. Can you show us that? I'll do mine first. So I spent, this is from yesterday. I spent 4 hours and 37 minutes. Can you see that? Yeah, 4 hours and 37 minutes on my phone yesterday.
Oh, why 9 hours for Kate?
Because I'm a social media influencer and I had a live stream.
yeah,
I
that's
have
true.
live stream for 4 hours. I have live stream for 4 hours.
That's
I
your
have live
job.
stream for 4
That's your
hours.
job.
Wow. All right. So can you show, let me read it. So June has it for
Yes.
8 hours and 56 minutes.
Yes.
And she has 7 hours and 9 minutes. Jim has 7 hours and 50 minutes. What is that? 54 hours?
No. That's the total for a week.
Oh.
I actually also have 7 hours and 50, but on the 30th, I don't know what I was doing. I spent 11 hours on social. I must have forgot my laptop and used my phone for my messaging app. But
you are addicted.
but I don't know what I was doing for the 11 hours. Like, it doesn't leave me much time to sleep. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's why you joined Team Blessing in the last round, right?
Exactly.
And Mahal, I didn't see yours. Sorry.
Yeah, so
You spent-
mine shows as 5, but I also have a similar problem as Enoch mentioned. I have like 8 hours on Monday, and I think it must have counted the time that I was listening to music from my phone or something, because
but
I don't know
5
how it
hours.
happened.
5 hours and 2 minutes yesterday. We are looking at yesterday. So I think you used your phone the least among these people. So yeah, you choose the right side. You choose Team Curse. I get it now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So you spend so much time. Is it mostly involved with social media? What do you do with your phone? What do you do on social network? We'll start with
my number one app is a messaging app. I think nowadays it's almost impossible to not almost check your phone every minute or so to see if someone messaged you, right? I think as I consider myself as a young person, I think we are so scared of hearing phone ring. Like, I am scared. I'm so scared to hear my phone ring. I think I prefer if someone send me a text message, then call me immediately. So I think a text messaging messaging app is definitely one of them, and the other one is a short video platform that I use, which I use to serve quite a bit in entertaining myself, relaxing, I guess. But yeah.
Thank you. And who was the second? Kate, right?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I certainly spend most of my time on social media as I'm an influencer myself. And for example, today I had a live stream for 4 hours, so I had to have my phone on for 4 hours in a row. And I also use it to edit my videos, to post them on social media, to talk to my followers, and of course the messaging apps. I have to check messages sometimes every minute because of those notices in the group chat. So right now, just like Enoch said, it's almost impossible to not check on your phone every single minute, as you have tons of very important information.
Can I ask a quick question to Kate?
Yes.
So you do a lot of live stream, right? Is
Yes.
live stream bite-size information? Because you usually live stream for a very long time, right?
Exactly, but usually users stay in the live stream for about 40 to 60 seconds in general. So in this way, it is considered a bite-sized content. However, for me, it's not a bite-sized content. From my perspective, it's a very long content, and I'm preparing for a long time and trying to give as much information as possible to my followers. But for most of the followers, unfortunately, it's bite-sized, as it's 60 seconds, for live streams time on average.
That's very
So
cool.
it's probably a French fine dining bite-size. French.
Oh, Gushi, what do you do on social media?
Well, I'm pretty confused because I rarely check my phones recently, and I saw that on my screen. It's 7 hours, so I doubt that maybe I just unlock my phone during my dream and unconsciously play with my phone and checking some messages. That's the only possibility. Or someone stole my phone. There's no way I will stay these 7 hours with my phone.
How about June?
I have a variety of apps that are shown over here, and I think it just ranges from the calendar, maps, but like Enoch, I spend a lot of time on messaging platforms, and I agree with him how he says that it's so scary these days to just have someone call you. But the funny thing is that I always have my phone on mute. It's always on mute. But even when it's on mute, I can still reply to my messages on time and answer my calls on time, which means that I'm always on my phone. That's something funny. Yeah.
Thank you. And Jim, how about you?
Yeah, like most folks, I think I do a lot of messaging and communication. My family is in the States, so I talk to them in the morning and in the evening sometimes because of the time difference. And then during the day, running a business, just constantly communicating with people, voice calls, video calls, messages, and definitely responding within the second. And when I'm not doing that, I do online shopping. That actually is a danger I'm more worried about than short videos because I'm finding that it's too easy to just click around, especially if you're like stressed out or anxious, and find some cool product and buy it almost immediately. It's too easy to buy things now. So that's what I'm against, but I think short video is fine.
All right, thank you. And Mahal, finally.
Yeah, so for me, I'm the opposite of Enoch in this case and June, because I actually really like to talk to people like on the phone. I sound like I used to message a lot. Like I used to message all the time with my friends, and I found that I would argue that actually calling people is the bite-sized content, because the same conversation you would have over 2 hours of messaging can be had in 5 minutes on the phone. So we just found, but this is also the case of my friends. My friends also like to talk on the phone. So we usually, when we set something up, we just found it easier to call for 5 minutes than to message for 2 hours, for example. Yeah, but as for me and using my phone, I mostly actually consume longer forms of media. So either I'm listening to music, but mostly recently I've started really like listening and watching podcasts and like longer interviews. And I just enjoy that so much because I guess it's so in depth. Like you have a 2-hour conversation, for example, between two people. So I guess me and Enoch chose the right teams this time after all.
All right, thank you guys. And now let's move on to the next round. So this is going to be a free debate session. Each team has 4 minutes in total. We have a timer on the screen. Remember to keep an eye on it. Mahal and Enoch, you're going to debate with your new team together in the session, but remember you have a chance to turn code afterwards, so you can change your mind depending on how the session goes. So use it wisely. Now this time we start from Team Curse. Who will take the lead?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
So from our interviews, I noticed that people keep mentioning you want to get as much information as possible. I understand people's eagerness to fit in, to know what's happening around the world, to get as much information as possible. But that creates a lot of anxiety among younger generation, because we all want to be like someone else. We all want to talk about what's trendy, what's popular on social media. That's why there's always a rank, like top list, top click. But I want to say is we also need to be careful about protecting ourselves from all those oceans of informations, because do keep asking yourself, do we really need to know that much? Do we really need to know what's happening 1,000 miles away? What's happening to a village? What's funny? Because that doesn't mean anything to you. It would probably mean something to someone else. And also, our company is an AI company. And it's funnily pathetic, because if we don't do well, we'll be replaced by our competitors. But if we do well, we'll be replaced by AI, because it's an AI company. So I believe we all feel threatened at some point by AI and Argo. And my little secret is, if I want to search some very weird item, I'll switch my account, because I don't want it to be memorized by the Argo, and put that information to my profile and keep pushing the same item next time, because that's kind of like random thought. That's why putting yourself in social media and giving in a lot of information and then having this access to all those short clips is pretty dangerous. And you're also yielding your right to choose and placing yourself under Argo and let it decide what should be implanted in your head. It's pretty scary, and it's happening. That's why we need to be cautious. That's my point.
All right, Team Blessing, you are very quiet. You didn't interrupt her at all.
Yes, I have to interrupt now because I've heard so many things that, oh, that this bite-sized information is so easy to pick up and to digest. That's why it's bad. But my point, it's good because it's convenient. We need this convenience in our everyday life. And we cannot pick up thousands of this information from books. So we need this constant and immediate information. In fact, if you would ask most of the people if, okay, it's good or bad, most of them, they say it's bad. But if you ask the question, could you live without this information, bite-sized information, without short videos, without images? Well, I think most of them would say no, for sure. Then June also said the point that this information can be misleading on social media. But the thing about the media is that mass media moved to social media, and before mass media, traditional media had misleading information as well. They just moved to another platform, and it's not the fault of the social media and bite-sized information. It's the point that traditional media and mass media also had a lot of misleading information is that. Talking about this thousands of information, waves of information that we can get lost in. It's a good point, but it's also the information that allows us to know more people from different countries, from different places, about different foods, about different hobbies, interests. And that's what makes our life more fulfilling. That's what makes our life more interesting. We get more curious about our life, about our world. And that's a good thing about short videos. And one more point that I would like to mention is that the point is not about fragmented information, is it good or bad, but about how you use it, it's your personal choice, how you use it properly. So that's my point. That's my counter argument.
Okay. Anyone? Curse, Blessing, June?
Okay, thank you, Kate. I agree to a certain extent to what you have said. But I think bite-sized information is only beneficial to society on a certain level. But now we are overwhelmed with so much bite-sized information. Actually, on social media, every single piece of information pretty much is bite-sized. And the short-term effects of that now, maybe we don't consider too much of that. But in the long term, how about our kids for generations to come? Their mindsets, their minds will be accustomed to just receiving information that is short, information that is bite-sized, and that will become a problem for our generations, for people to come, because as our society becomes more and more digitalized, AI is going to take control. If we are not able to think freely for ourselves, have our own opinions, ideas, think critically, I think we will be taken over by robots and artificial intelligence, and that will be a problem.
I think, first of all, in the contrary, that I think bite-sized information is allowing us to think freely because it allows us to have more access to information, access to different point of view. I'm all for freedom of speech, and we should not limit speech, and we should never limit perspective. And I think, as Guzi, your colleague has mentioned, right, there is place for long-form information, but on social media, I think bite-sized information is a blessing. I think we have to understand one very small but important point is that bite-sized information is not the end. Bite-sized information is the beginning of getting yourself more informed, is getting yourself more perspective. So don't I don't think we should hide the fact that we have the opportunity to get more information should we want to. But bite-sized information lower the barrier and increase access of information.
But the question, Enoch, is you mentioned about free to search and free to find information. Do we really have this freedom? Or the information you get, even the curiosity that Kate just mentioned, is delivered to you? Is that really your own curiosity? Or it's created by Argo and by the robots that keep pushing information to you and keep you in an echo chamber because you're emphasizing your profile and you're getting more similar information. And then you keep enhancing this Argo and then you're getting more similar information. This is what we call it's pretty dangerous to put that. And it's actually a big question mark to if we really have the freedom to choose and search.
I genuinely believe we have the agency and control over what information we receive. We should not blame the tool just because it is being misused and taken advantage of by certain parties.
Okay,
I think there's a key point here. Oh, sorry. After you, McCall.
Oh, it's okay.
You only have 32 seconds left.
Heated debate.
Your team.
So just one point I wanted to mention that I'm worried also of like the long-term effects that that this amount of information can have on our civilization. Like humanity has made so many extended, like, let's say, books, theater plays, albums. This is all like extended information. Like you can't have a physicist that just based off of like short-term bite-sized information. They have to go in depth, and this is one thing I'm worried about, like that we have to be worried that we don't lose this, civilization, like history and knowledge in the meantime.
Thank you, Moho. And Jim, you have 1 minute and 14 seconds left.
Don't use all. I want to say something at the end, but yeah, go on.
Me too.
Companies like McDonald's came along in the 1950s and figured out ways to create food that was much more delicious and palatable than anything that had existed before. And in doing so, they created a way for people to make themselves very, very fat and unhealthy. But we have the benefit of living in 2022, where we have nutritional science that tells us that eating McDonald's every day is not going to be very good for your health. And this same principle about what you put in your body can be the same as what you put in your mind. I think when it comes to this short form information, this bite-sized content, it's very important to remember that, as humans, we make choices every day. We choose what to intake. We choose what things we want to engage with and what things we don't. And I think that the flaw in the issues that have been brought up on the opposite side today is that we are not just slaves that are forced to watch whatever the algorithm pushes to us. We're humans, we're making decisions, and the power is yours. After you, Enoch.
First. Kate. Try to leave me like 5 seconds, but Kate.
Go first. I'm not sure.
Okay.
You're wasting your time.
What I want to say is that knowledge and books is as good only if we have access to it. Only we can actually read it. Otherwise, like they will just stay in the library. So it's important that bite-sized information introduce us, get us curious, attract to us, such that we can go and read the book and go and read the journal, go and read more.
Thank you, Enoch. All right, so we have 4 minutes for each team this time. Remember, we used to only have 3 minutes, and we added 1 minute more.
We should
Do
add
you
one
need
more
one
next
more
time.
minute? We'll think about it. All right. So Moho and Enoch, take a second to think about your final decision. And we have many comments. Let's read some from our viewers. This is what we collected earlier. It's a blessing if it's beneficial information, and a curse if it causes loss. And there's another one, definitely a curse. It has its usefulness in being easily digestible, but often lacks key information and context. Well, I think I just received another, live comment. He says, it's again from DLJ. He says the question is about quantity of information, but it's quality that matters. I think that's a really good point. What do you think, guys? Quantity or quality?
Definitely agree. Quality.
Yeah,
I would say quantity, because if you have I'm a true believer that if we have enough, many information, we will get good quality. I think that is the idea of freedom of press. That's the idea of freedom of information, right? Because if we allow enough information, there will be good information eventually. But if we limit ourselves to just some and few information and very long form information, which raises barrier, like we will never have 5 billion internet users and social medias. We will maintain as just the elite who are educated. And I think that would be a shame.
That's one possibility. But the other one is your decision-making system is going to crash, getting so much information from outside.
Yeah, we have to make a compromise.
Yes.
So it's not, if we have only quantity or only quality, both sides are bad on their own. So we have to have the compromise.
And protect your brain.
Human race to increase our capability to digest information with the help of AI, maybe Gusi's company.
Yes, that's our mission. Thank you.
You certainly have to pay a price. I think that you certainly have to pay the price for the quantity, but the decision maker is yourself. So if you choose to decide the better quality, the better content, it's completely your choice and your own decision.
But we also need to train ourselves to be a more well-functioned robot, right? If we want to also like digest all this information. We're not like born with such good, well-functioning machine that can always like put different information into different categories that well. And that's why I keep saying that we need to protect our brain, we need to protect our head, we need to protect our capability to distinguish different information.
All right, thank you guys. And let's see what else comments we have. This one from Victor, 1984. Only consuming bite-sized content in one's free time can be a huge waste of time. But doing it from time to time to keep informed is perfectly fine. So that's about time control the time of social media usage, right? What else? This one from The Opposite News, also on YouTube. It's a good tool to help people organize and share information, such a blessing. But it is censored or delivering fake news. Social media is a curse. Yeah, I think that's what we are talking about today. So like we said, it's always a double-edged sword. But it just came to me, guys. So I think it's also a double-edged sword in another aspect. Like, for consumers, bite-sized content means increasing choices between a range of media, right? But for marketing professionals, is the trend of information fragmentation creating increased difficulty in reaching target audiences? We have KOLs here. We have Jim. You're also doing marketing. I'd like to ask you guys because yeah, you are all running your own brands online. What's your take on that?
Well, the way that these algorithms work, and we've talked a little bit about this today, is that there's something called an A/B test. And when you're trying to figure out what a certain person likes, you can show them one thing and another thing. And through an A/B test, basically, they make a selection between one or the other by either continuing to engage with content or stopping. So when it comes to thinking about bite-sized content, actually, when it comes to the ability to figure out what someone likes, you can figure out that much more quickly with 10 short videos than you would with 2 long ones. So from that perspective, definitely for advertisers, short video and bite-sized content can be quite useful in that by seeing the behavior of a user who's watching a stream of bite-sized content, you can get a much better sense of their interests and perspectives, the things they like, the things they don't. But yeah, that's my perspective as a KOL, if that's not too much marketing speak.
Well, Kate, you are also on the blessing team. So will you worry about that your audiences are receiving too much information all at the same time that will miss your live stream or miss your videos?
Of course, I wouldn't feel guilty because it's not my fault. It's not. I wasn't the creator of this algorithm of social media. So I'm on the contrary, I feel very happy about bringing this content to my followers, and a lot of followers are sending me messages and thanking me for, for the videos that I'm creating, that they're very useful for them. So I would say that it's rather a good and exciting thing for them because I get hundreds of positive comments, and it's what actually makes me feel more excited and inspired to create more content, more videos, more live streams.
Nkushi, do you have any different views?
I want to thank Kate and Jen being as influencers and also as filters to expose yourself to so much information, filter useful ones to your followers. That's my take from what you just mentioned. And still, I feel like every day as we evolve as human race into this digital area, and we call ourselves digital nomads. But actually, I don't feel like as human beings, we're ready for digesting so much information. And that's, Enoch just said, that's actually one of the missions why we created my company with my partners, because we really want to enhance the efficiency for people to pick up on useful information instead of expose yourself to so much unfiltered ones. So this is what we want to focus on. And in the meantime, I do want to say, I keep saying protection. Also, when we say bite size, it's short clips, it's on TikTok, those short videos. And it could be sometimes easy to be escape because you're tired of your daily work, your what you're supposed to do. And you want to escape and hide in this shelter and just put yourself not thinking about what I'm learning, when I'm just focused on the track. and just like waste your time or making the whole period wasteless and meaningless. And this is the reminder I want to send to also to myself and to people who are watching and the younger generation. Do have a framework of your work and your daily work instead of just randomly browsing and checking and swiping. That could be super harmful if you look at it in the long term.
Just can
Thank
I
you.
add very
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
so
I
think
was actually ready for you to follow up.
Thank you. So I think
We knew
regardless of how technology have advanced, right? One thing that we did not manage to change at least yet is the number of hours that we have per day. We have limited time, so therefore it's all about how to allocate different time that we have. That's why I think bite-sized information is as close as it came to increasing the number of hours that we actually have per day, because it increased the number of information sources that we get. But at the same time, I think it was a great question by Xiaoming just now. I think it's sorry, Xiaoming. I think it's great in terms of competition, right? Competition allow the best content to reach us, and I think bite-sized information allow information to be competitive, so that the highest quality in quantity can reach us. But at the same time, I think on the other side, I think bite-sized information has its challenges, right? And problem, for example, retention. We're getting a lot of information, but at the same time, we're also losing a lot of information. So I think we need to be very, very careful of how we get information. Secondly, I think it's getting us more lazy, right? I think it gives us a false impression that we're an expert in everything because we're able to get information so easily accessible. I think in the same way that I think a lower barriers to access information, but also lower barrier for people to intentionally and maliciously edit information such that it harm people. I think there's both pros and cons, and I enjoy being in the middle throughout the whole entire argument, and I think I'm ready to make my decision.
You're not in the middle at all.
We are not ready.
I try. I put my hands up, I try.
Anyone else?
Yes, could I add one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Kate.
We've heard a lot of comments about saying that actually we spend so much time on our screen, that we're just spending so much time swiping on our screen. But to be honest, social media and this information is actually pushing us to offline communication and make us more social offline. People like to talk online, to message online, to do some meetings online, but in the end, they would prefer meeting with their friends offline, having that life offline. So this social media content and this bite-sized information is actually making people more inspired in offline communications. So I don't think that it actually tears us apart. It makes us more connected, and it makes us, and it creates more opportunities for us, more opportunities for making new friends, making new hobbies, meeting new people.
Yes,
yeah, that's a really, really good point.
wanted...
It makes our world smaller. Sorry, go ahead, Mahal.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch up on this, that, talking to you guys and thinking about it, I've heard many arguments online or in real life that people say, because there's this thing called social media and it has the bite-sized content, like the bite-sized content made people's attention spans shorter. Like the bite-sized content changed people. But like talking to you, I'm thinking, is it the fault of the bite-sized content, or is it the fault of the world that we live in? That the world has become so busy that really efficient short videos, really efficient short art is kind of like the natural evolution of this. And this is just the reality that we're living in. So is the bite-sized content the cause or the result? I mean, this is another topic for discussions, but I'm thinking, like, if we use the bite-sized content as a tool, it really depends on us and on our critical thinking, what we make of it. So this is the reality we're given, and we have to just make the most of it.
Thank you. June, do you have anything that you want to add?
I think that's right. I think it's based on us to decide how we use this kind of information that we receive. And it also depends on what we're using the information for. Bite-sized information can be good if you're just looking for, like the viewer said, if you're just looking to keep yourself updated with news on a busy day. But at the same time, a lot of dangers with too much information, and we have to be critical, we have to be careful, and we have to understand the cons that comes with bite-sized information.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's really hard to decide, and we have a lot of comments right now saying it's a hard decision. But before we reveal your final answer, now I'm going to play a video of the fragmented information you receive, our guests received from social media. There are a lot of interesting, but not that important information in there. So let's see what you spend with so much time, what you spend on social media for. Let's take a
Please share an impressive thing or fun fact you learned from social media.
Recently, I've learned that cows actually kill more people globally than sharks, so I guess you should be more worried about going to the countryside than diving in the ocean.
I remember when I was in middle school, I was checking for some information about Barbie, and I found out that her full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts.
I figured out an interesting tip from social media, which is that if you want to sleep better, you can actually take a piece of tape, this is medical tape, and put it over your mouth while you're asleep. It actually works pretty well.
I recently came across an interesting video talking about the origin of brand names. For example, did you know the car manufacturer Volkswagen actually means people's car in German? Or for example, the ice cream company Haagen-Dazs is actually a made-up word by the American founders to make the company sound more Danish.
I learned that information can be fabricated and people don't need to be responsible for their words.
The creation of internet slang, internet language, internet memes even. I feel like it's fascinating how internet uses is spread across the world.
When will you turn on social media and take a look?
This is usually when I'm in transit. So it could be from the moment when I leave my office and come home from work, if I'm on a plane, if I'm on a train, if I'm getting around a city.
On the bus or on the train, or maybe waiting in the queue at the supermarket.
Whenever I want to take a break or I'm not dealing with any urgent stuff.
Right before I exercise, it gives me the extra motivation needed for a tough workout.
I am pretty much always on social media 24/7. Whenever I am lonely, especially by myself.
When I want to find out what's going on about my family, friends, etc., or when I'm on my way somewhere.
Does the bite-sized knowledge make you feel more fulfilled or anxious?
Both fulfilled and anxious.
Generally more anxious.
I think like anything, if you take in too much of it, it can be overwhelming. But in general, I would say they're net positive.
There are two sides to this story, because when the fragmented knowledge is about something less serious, more like fun facts, interesting stories, then it's fulfilling. But when it's about something very serious, like the news, politics, I get anxious because I don't know the full picture.
I don't think it makes me feel anxious, neither does it make me feel fulfilled. At the same time, I feel like that's just how new media works nowadays. People are so busy, they don't have the time to read the full story.
Neither anxious nor excited, as I've got plenty of other sources of information, and because of my major, I know what is fragmented information and how it is being shown to me through the internet.
Folks, now I know why you can spend 8 hours, 9 hours, 11 hours on your phone. So useful information. I learned a lot. I know Barbie's full name now. And I will remember to put a piece of tape over my mouth when I go to bed tonight. Thank you, Jim, for that tip. All right, and now Mahal and Enoch, what's your final choice? Let us know. Are you going to turncoat?
Mahal. Okay, so I can go first. So, yeah, taking all of that in, I'm coming to a similar result. I have the similar idea in my head as during the last debate when we debated if social media is good for travelers or is it bad for travelers. And I just think that social media, when you use it as a tool, when you use it with a clear head, you have like a clear knowledge of let me explain. So when you use the social media as a tool, it can help you greatly because of the democratization of social media, like the bite-sized contents. There's so much of it. If you choose what's right for you, then it's really a benefit. So, and we all heard about the dangers of social media. For example, like in the case of travel, we saw people storming small temples by the thousands, all of that. But if you use social media as a tool and not as your, if you use your brain when you use social media, I think it's a great benefit. So I'm actually going to turncoat this time.
You're going to turncoat. So
yes.
Mahal joined Team Blessing. I know you were struggling because you were going back to the last episode topic. Yeah, but Mahal joins Team Blessing, and it's all about Enoch. What's your decision?
I think it has been such a competitive and contentious debate that we have. I think I wouldn't have it any other way than an hour-long, even 2-3 hours long debates that we have. I think I would not swap this for a 1-2 minute video bite size. So I think at times I do enjoy, particularly even on social media, to having a full, complete information at times. And I think this also represents how the debate turned out as well. So I think I would swap position with Macau this time around, and I think I see blessing and curse, but I'm leaning towards curse at this moment.
Okay, so you swap your position. That leaves us a tie here. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Congratulations, both team. It's interesting to see that, Team Curse wins the poll. Now, Team Blessing wins the box pop, and we are having a tie here. Well, like we said, both this episode and also the last episode, social media is a double-edged sword, and fragmented information as well. It needs regulation. Obviously, as long as it is used in a responsible way, there's no problem with it. So I think that concludes our talk today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for your inspirational ideas and talks and words. Thank you so much for watching with the talk. I hope you learned something. If you have any more questions or concerns, comment and let us know. Remember to follow us. I hope to see you again in the next episode of What's the Talk. Thank you.